Uber Tubers, I'll tell you a little fable tonight. It's kind of a Halloween fable. This story is from the 18th century. It's all the way back to Ireland. Back in those days, in the 1700s, life was tough. Wasn't good medical care. The towns were basically just a small group of houses. The roads were made of mud. Life was tough. No job was tougher than being a blacksmith. The character of our story, his name was Jack. Jack was a blacksmith. Now, Jack was a smart guy, pretty conniving. Jack didn't have any family, didn't really like people. The only thing that Jack really loved was drinking ale. He'd go to the tavern every night. Some nights he wouldn't even eat dinner, he'd just drink. Jack would overcharge his customers and would often trick the other patrons in the bar into paying for his tab. So this earned him the nickname of Stingy Jack. Stingy Jack was, like I said, he didn't have family and he didn't really like people, so he was pretty ornery. And when he drank, he was mean. When he drank more, he was nasty. So, rumors of Stingy Jack, well, everybody in town knew him. And then, tales of him being so mean and ornery got out into the countryside, throughout the country. And eventually, Demon heard about this guy who was mean, so mean to everybody. Demon took that back to the devil, and the devil said, "This is the kind of guy that we want in hell." So the devil came up to get Stingy Jack. While walking home from the bar one night, staggering through the path in the woods like he always did, he sees the shape in the path, and he knows there's no boulders in this path. He's walked it 100 times. When he gets up to it, the boulder shape shifts, turns into the devil. The devil says, "Jack, I'm here for your soul." And Jack says, "You don't want me. I'm just a drunkard." And the devil says, "Nah, I've heard how mean and ornery and nasty you are to people. That's the kind of person we want down in hell." And Stingy Jack says, "Oh, you want mean and nasty? Well, let's go back to the bar then." The devil says, "No, I'm not here to drink beers with you. I'm here to take you to hell." And Jack says, "Hey, the more I drink, the meaner I get. The nastier I get, and the more ornery I get." And the devil says, "Oh, well, that is what we're interested in." So he takes him back to the bar. And Jack's drinking away at the bar. Putting down ale after ale. It's getting belligerent drunk. The bar closes. The barkeep says, "Jack, you gotta go. Pay your tab and get out." And Jack looks at the devil and says, "I don't have any money." The devil says, "I don't care." Jack says, "Nah, this guy, he brought us the ale. He's the reason I'm drunk and mean. Pay them. We gotta pay him. Tell you what, you shapeshift into a silver coin. I'll pay the barkeep. Head out the door. When he's not looking, you shapeshift back. I'll meet y'all back." The devil's like, "Whatever, let's go." So he shapeshifts him to a coin. But instead of paying the barkeep, Jack takes the silver coin and puts him in his pocket and slips out the door. As soon as he gets out the door, the devil starts cussing, "Jack, what are you doing? This isn't the plan." But he can't shapeshift back because Jack had put him in his pocket next to a cross. So the devil starts screaming, hollering, cussing at Jack. "Jack, you let me out of here, I'm going to torture you." Jack says, "No, I'm not letting you out of here. I don't want to go to hell. You're not going to torture me. Maybe we can come to an arrangement." The devil says, "What kind of arrangement?" Jack says, "I'll tell you what. You promise not to take my soul for a year. I'll let you out." The devil doesn't like the deal, but he knows he's stuck in there. So he says, "Oh, okay." And he agrees to the deal. Jack takes him out, lets him go. The devil says, "You bested me once. Mark my words. I'll be back in a year for you, Jack." So the next year, Jack goes away, being belligerent, drinking, being mean, being nasty. But a year to the day, Jack's staggering home from the bar, pissed drunk. He sees the devil standing there. The devil didn't even bother shapeshifting. Jack gets up to the devil and says, I know what you're here for. I'm not even going to fight you on it. I don't care. I'm ready to go to hell. These people here, they got nothing for me. The devil says, that's right, let's go. Jack says, oh, can I grab an apple before we go? The devil says, what do you... No, it's not snack time. We're going to hell. Jack says, hold on, man. I didn't eat nothing all night. You don't want to hear my stomach rumbling and grumbling. Just grab an apple for the trip. And the devil thinks about it for a second and says, okay, you can have an apple for the trip. Matter of fact, I will go get you an apple. So the devil climbs up into the tree. And the devil's thinking, he's not going to grab him a nice, juicy, succulent apple for the trip. He's going to grab him the rottenest, worm-infested apple that he can get. Get Jack back for what he did to him the first time he was there. So the devil climbs up the tree. He's looking for the apple. While he's up there, Stingy Jack runs over to the trunk of the tree and carves some crosses in it. Devil's all done. Goes to get down out of the tree. He's got crosses in it. He can't get out of the tree. The devil's infuriated. Cussing at Jack. So mad. He lights the whole tree on fire. Burns all the branches. Burns all the leaves. Burns all the apples. Furious at Jack. Jack, I'm going to burn your soul like no man has ever suffered in hell. Jack says, I'm not letting you out of the tree like that. That doesn't sound like something. I don't want to go to hell. Matter of fact, I have a proposition for you. I'll let you down out of the tree. You promise never to take my soul to hell. And the devil doesn't like it, but he knows he's been bested again. So reluctantly, he agrees to the deal. Jack goes to the trunk of the tree and turns the crosses into a Celtic pattern. The devil gets out of the tree and says, curse you, Jack. Curse you for eternity. The devil disappears. Jack goes back to drinking, being drunk, being belligerent. But it's not long before all that drinking catches up to him, the alcoholism. Jack dies. Jack dies. Well, he carried that cross of them in his pocket all the time, so his soul goes up to heaven. Gets to the pearly gates. They just look at him and say, nope, nope, nope. So Jack's soul goes down to hell. Jack walks up to the gates of hell. The devil's there waiting for him. He says, sorry, Jack, I can't let you in. Jack says, well, I sure as hell can't get in heaven, and I've been rotten, mean, and nasty all my life, so I'm pretty sure I deserve to be in hell. Jack says, no, that's not it. He says, I made you a promise. I promised you that I would never take your soul. You can't come in. Jack's dumbfounded. He says, well, what am I supposed to do? Walk out here in the blackness of purgatory forever? The devil has a little pity for him. So he reaches into hell and grabs an ember and hands it to Jack. Take this, light your way. Be gone. So Jack staggers out in the darkness. Doesn't know where to go or what to do. He ends up in a field, farmer's field. He grabs a big turnip. Cuts the top off. Hollows out the inside of the turnip. Puts a lanyard through it. Cuts some holes, some slits on the inside. Puts that ember in there and holds it up like a lantern. Irish folklore is, if you're out in the woods late at night and you see flashes of light, that's Stingy Jack, walking in purgatory forever. Now the 1700s, 1800s, that's about the time settlers came over to America. So that tale came with them. Well, we don't have the turnips here in America like they do back there, but we do have another fruit. We have pumpkins. Take the pumpkin, cut the top off, hollow out the inside, cut some slits in the front, make a face, drop a candle in there, and now you know the origins to jack-o'-lanterns.